What's up, guys? So I just finished uploading my Josie tutorial for YouTube and I think it came out alright, but in the last section where we talked about combos, I felt like I really had to rush it because I didn't have enough time to cram it all into 1 hour, and I think that's sad because Josie has some really cool and versatile combos. There are some advanced stuff that I would like to talk about as well when it comes to counter hits and when it comes to rage. So I thought I'd make this like a complimentary video where we just talk specifically about Josie combos for a little bit. So to get into it, I mentioned in that video that just a very standard option off of your 15 frame launchers, which are your hop kick and your down forward 2, is this, which is just forward 1+2, standing 4, forward 2-3-4, forward 2-3-4, which is very easy to do. And then if you want a little bit more damage, you can do that instead, which is again launch forward 1+2, standing 4, then I do a forward 3, a 3-3 for the spin, and then I run up and do 3 forward 3 for the finisher, and that gives me a little bit more damage. Off of the down forward 2 specifically, you can squeeze out even a little bit more damage by doing that exact same combo, but instead of 3-3 for the spin, you can clutch out a forward 3-2-4. and then run up and get forward, up forward 3+4 for the ender, and that gives you slightly more damage. 61, which is the only way I've found to get above 60 damage off of your down forward 2, and like I say, I always want to get above 60 damage in my combos. It's like a pet peeve of mine. Alright, and then we talked about that. Some of the other stuff, I mean, I showed you that you got to do a very clutch dashing to be able to get a combo off of your while standing 2-1. I'm going to shut up while I do this so it becomes easier to do. That's basically your combo off of your while standing 2-1, which is your 13 frame launcher, which is very good. There is a more damaging option. It gives you 1 more point for 57 damage total, like I mentioned, and it looks like this. And that's down back 4-2-3. The 3 hit of this string is delayable and it gives more damage, but if you delay it in this scenario, you don't get the hit, so you cannot delay it here. Delaying it only works in wall combos. Next, I want to talk about, I'm just going through like basic combos quickly now in case you watched this video and you didn't watch the full Josie tutorial, which I recommend obviously, but then we're going to talk about stuff that we didn't have time to talk about in the initial one. Butterfly edge. I mean, I see, for example, Eris, who used a lot of Josie lately, he goes directly into down 3-4, and then he does this, and then he does like an ender like that. I mean, that's 58 damage off of a pretty high damage launcher. I think it's very sort of wasteful to do such a low damage combo for no reason off of this. I think you can get more. What I would recommend you do instead off of this launch is you do a fast forward 3 and then a standing 4, and then you can do like whatever spin or whatever follow up you want. What I like to do is this. Just a forward 2-3-4, and that gives you 65, which is like, that's 7 points more, and it's not a difficult combo to do. It even has better wall carry, so that's actually something that I would recommend. This is my favorite combo off of Butterfly Edge, but you can do stuff like do a forward 3 and then do that combo, and you get another option with a little bit more damage in there. But in any case, I think it is important to practice just getting a forward 3 into a standing 4 after Butterfly Edge, and then you've got like a lot of options in terms of what combos you can do. You can do 3-3, you can do 4-2-3-4, you can do 3-2 cancel into crouch dash 1-3, and you can get combos off of all of those. So yeah. This is probably what I would use. I think 65 with built-in good wall carry is very solid, and it's a good option off of that. Then I showed you this move and how you can get forward 3, forward 3, forward 3, 3-3 dash 3 forward 3, which is a good damage option there. Gives you 68, and an alternate option that I use that I show you is I launch, I do forward 3, forward 1+2, and then I spin with 3-3. Then I run up, do a forward 3, and then 3 forward 3 for the ender, so I can show that again as well. But you can see that barely hits at the end, so you got to be a little bit deep with your dashes. but it's not inconsistent or anything. It's not hard to get, and that also gives you 68, which I think is solid off of that. Alright, so now let's talk a little bit about counter hits and a little bit about the stuff that we didn't really have time to talk in my initial video, and then I want to talk about rage, which is going to be really cool because Josie can do some really awesome stuff with rage in her combos. But I'm just going to talk about a lot of counter hit stuff right now, so we're going to turn on manual counter hit for now. First and foremost, Magic 4, it's 12 frames. I do forward 1 plus 2, forward 3 into that. So that's Magic 4, forward 1 plus 2, forward 3, 3 for the spin, and then dash up 3 forward 3 for the ender. And I think that's 63 damage is very solid off of counter hit hockey. I don't know if you can get this for the ender if you want wall carry, but let's try it. Okay, so you can. That's really cool. So yeah, you can run up and do forward 2, 3, 4 for the ender as well, and that's going to give you the option of creating a high wall splat conversion, and then running up and doing a wall ender for massive damage with Josie. So that's cool as well. But that's my recommendation off of counter hit 4 is just do this forward 1 plus 2, forward 3, and then you can do whatever spin you want. I don't know if this is going to work. Is it? No, that's too many hits, so that doesn't work. So you got to spin with 3-3 right there, basically. But that's, I think 63 off of a counter hit 4 is very solid, so I think that's good. All right, next I want to talk about while standing 3. The thing about while standing 3 is it causes this kind of unique knockdown stun. This is counter hit while standing 3, obviously. You can't spin with 3-3 off of this, it whiffs. You can't use down 3-4 into that whiffs as well, if you look at this. See, so none of like these options work. She has another spin option which is back 1-1. That doesn't work either. So basically what you got to do with this move is you got to do a really quick forward 3-2-4, and that is going to allow you to spin for the combo, like that. And then you can do whatever ender you want, but a very nice damage ender that I use a lot that I think works well in this situation is run up forward 3 into 3 forward 3. I see a lot of people do forward 3 into up forward 3 plus 4, but if you do forward 3 into 3 forward 3 when you can get it, I think it's actually like 1 more point of damage. So it would look like this. That gives you 61, which I think is very good. Off of the counter hit while standing 1, you can get a guaranteed forward 1 plus 2, and after 1 plus 2 normally, you know, you can get run up and get down forward 1 forward 2, and that's guaranteed, like so. And that still works off of the counter hit while standing 1. Like that. It gives you 63 damage, meaning that this is actually a pretty decent damage launcher, even though it doesn't have spin or anything in it. If you get this when you have rage and you're able to do your rage drive, this combo can do I think 100 or more damage, or up in the region of 100 damage when you get this counter hit. So that's really cool. I'm going to show that in a little bit. Next I want to talk about down back 2, which is a move that I didn't mention at all in the Josie tutorial. It's got high crush properties, and it is a true counter hit launcher. You just gotta do a very fast dash into that, and that's down 3-4 into hold forward, and then you do your crouch dash 1-3, which is the spin move. So let's show it again. Alright, so that gives you 60 plus damage as well. That's very solid, and that's cool. What other counter hits didn't I mention properly? Yeah, I mean, I didn't show you a lot of stuff out of switch stance, so I guess we should talk about that. Okay, so that was switch stance 3. It causes this unique launch where he's like spinning sideways in the air. And what I do here, it's just a forward 3 into a standing 4, and then I do the very generic, you know, forward 2-3-4 into run up 4-2-3-4, which is good for damage and good for wall carry. You can, like any of the options that I've shown you, you know, you can run up and do stuff like 4-3 in this, and you can spin with 3-3 if you, instead of this string, if you want to take out a hit. All of these versions of her combo are like convertible, so this is going to be like completely up to you. And as you start comboing with Josie, you're gonna like get familiar with these different parts and how they work, and so it's going to be easier and easier to do. But yeah, like I said, you can do like that instead, and then you can get whatever ender you want. So that works. Then you've got, let's do switch 2. I think that's going to be like the exact same thing, more or less. Yeah, you can do the exact same thing. So it's 4-3 standing 4, and then whatever you want. And switch 1. Same thing works again. So yeah, with these like stun combos, you can do 4-3 standing 4 and then spin ender in whatever like configuration you want. It's just to be aware that in some cases, like with this move, you really gotta do that for 3-4 right away if you want to get the spin. Otherwise, you're not gonna get a combo. So that's kind of important. I didn't mention back 1+2 in my initial tutorial either. That's the other move where you got to do that, because if you see here 4-3 is not going to reach. I don't think down 3-4 is going to reach either. Okay, so it is. So you can do down 3-4 here, and that works. Or you can do that for the 2-3-4, and just be aware that like the first hit is going to whiff the whole thing, because it's too high, but the combo is still a true combo, so it still works. But the best option here is probably to do the down 3-4 hold forward into crouch dash 1-3. And that gives you, yeah, the 64. That is, I have counter hit on, so that might be boosting the damage slightly, so just be aware of that. Alright, so now that we talked about some cool like combo stuff with Josie, I think I want to talk a little bit about rage with her. So let's do that. So Josie has this rage drive. Let's turn off counter it and turn on rage for now. She has, we could start with not rage drive but rage art actually. Josie's rage art is down forward 1+2. And the only thing that's unique about it is that it is mid and has an extremely low and extremely far-reaching hitbox. So you can see from way out there, that was very far. A few mid rage arts are going to hit at that range, like maybe Jack and a couple of others. And it hits so low that this can scoop opponents up from almost any range. Basically what this ends up meaning is that in any combo Josie does, in her ender, if she can get a 4-3, anytime she can get a 4-3 for her ender, she's going to be able to get her rage shard as a guaranteed follow-up for amazing damage. So I'm going to show you what it is I'm trying to illustrate. So for example, I showed you that a good combo off of hop kick that I like. It looks like this, right? And then I run up an ender, but I can for example do this instead. So you can see, even though that was like way out and didn't look like it was going to hit at all, it easily does. This is actually super consistent. It's not clutch or anything. Anytime you can run up and get that 4-3, it's going to put your opponent at a position where your rage art is going to hit. And so that's a great way of using the rage art, because even though it scales down, you're basically doing almost your entire combo after it. And the rage art is always going to be like decent enough damage for a combo ender that it's going to be good. And you can use this in higher damage combos for similar results, obviously. So that's Butterfly Edge, for example. You can probably get even more with a Butterfly Edge if you do that. That's 4 more damage right there, I think. For 85, and then off of like high damage stuff like this, you got to be a little bit deep with your dash for this to work off of this combo. So you can see I'm whiffing it right there because my dash isn't deep enough, so this takes a little bit of practice, but it still works, trust me. Let's see if we can get it once. It doesn't matter, but it definitely does work. You can do, like, you can convert it obviously and do stuff like to make it a little bit easier. You could do, for example, yeah, that'll work. So yeah, basically her Rage Art can be used as a high-powered combo ender anytime you're able to like hit with forward 3 after a spin move. And because Josie tends to spin so late in her combos, that actually ends up working out pretty well. I've said in previous videos that you should be very careful about using Rage Arts in combos, especially as enders, all too much, because the scaling usually just drives the damage into the ground. And if you could have created a wall carry conversion or used your Rage Drive, if you have a Rage Drive that is usable in combos instead, you might have been able to get a lot more damage. If you look at my advanced Kazumi tutorial, I show you how you can boost like your combo damage by something like 20 points by avoiding using her Rage Art and actually just using her rage in more creative ways. Josie is another character who can do really cool stuff with her Rage Drive, and so that's what I want to talk about now. First, let's show the Rage Drive by itself. Her Rage Drive is her crouch dash 3+4. It looks like this. It's one of those mids that's going to launch your opponent on normal hit, but not put you at any disadvantage on block, so you can Hail Mary it and look for a launch at the end of the round. That's uninteresting though. When you get the hit with it, it's a pretty high damage launcher. It's a little bit finicky to get a spin off of it. What a lot of people use is they actually use, it's one of the few situations where back 1-1 is used with Josie as a spin move, but you can use 3-3 as well. But if you look at 3-3 here, it's going to put Kazuya with his feet away from me, meaning that my options for an ender are kind of limited. But if I do spin with back 1-1, I get a launch like that with the legs towards me, and then I can do whatever ender I want. And again, you can use any of the combo options I've shown you up until this point, but like for a standard damage option, that works for 64 damage, but you can get more. Now let's talk about how you can use this awesome Rage Drive to create cool combos. So for example, I've showed you previously that if you hit with forward 1+2, which is a 14 frame move, which is really good, you can use it for block punishment or whiff punishment. You can run up and get a completely guaranteed down forward 1-4-2 for decent damage, and that works as well off of counter hit while standing 1. But if you hit with this move when you've got rage, you can activate your Rage Drive to extend the combo and make it do massive damage, like so. And then you can do a lot of different follow-ups. Let's try and show you an option that would actually give you good damage off of this. So, and this is where you find out that I'm not a Mishima player, because I'm not great at doing fast crouch dashes, because I basically don't play Street Fighter or any Mishimas in this game. But oh, come on. It's gotta be fast, but trust me, it's not hard to do. I'm just sucking at it right now. Yes, that gave me 77. You can get a lot more. I think like a good damage option off of this would be something like yeah, you can get another 43 in there for 83, and that's decent, and you can go even higher with this, but that's potentially very, very powerful. I'm sorry I didn't get it like the first time there. Like I said, it's not difficult to do if you've ever done like if you've ever played Street Fighter or you've ever played Mishimas. That's super easy to do. It's just that I don't, so my Mishima style crouch dash is a little bit slower than it needs to be. Sorry about the awkward edit right there, I had to take a phone call. But the last thing I want to show you before we wrap this up is I showed you previously how off of counter hit while standing 1, you can get a forward 1+2 into the normal guaranteed combo you would get off of forward 1+2, which is that, which gives you 69 damage, which is very good. But if you're in rage and you have access to your Rage Drive, you can actually extend this combo, and I think it becomes Josie's most powerful launcher, but the combo is a little bit advanced. So I'm going to try and show it to you here. I was practicing it yesterday and I found a lot of really cool options. I don't know if I'm going to get it first try, so bear with me. I think it's worth showing anyway. Okay, there it is. So that's 99 damage. I think that's as high as you can go with that, but that's really powerful and really cool. It's not super easy to do, but basically what I'm doing is, while standing 1 and counter hit confirming that, I'm doing forward 1 plus 2. You then do your rage drive to pick him up. You do another forward 1 plus 2. I then do 1 2 4, which is one the this normal jab string that transitions into switch. If you hold forward after a switch dance, she goes in a crouch dash. So I do that, and then I do an extended crouch dash, 1 3. This dash has to be deep and long, otherwise it's not going to work. And then you do a very deep run up, and you do up forward 3 plus 4 for the ender. And I think that's max damage off of this launch. So that's just one cool example of how like versatile and cool like the combo system of Josie really is, and how much fun you can have using rage inside of her combos. So this was just a complimentary video to the full guide that I uploaded a little while ago. So if you want to learn more about Josie, check that out. If you did check that out and you wanted to learn some more combos, then I think this was more useful than what was in that initial video. So thank you so much for watching. There's going to be more Tekken content coming very, very soon. But for now, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.